ॐ श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवत् व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः। देवाय तस्मै नमः। Who would like to do the chanted in a while? Yeah, Harprasad. Okay, we'll start from 4. भूमिरापो नलो वायुः. So you have to unmute yourself, Harprasad.
Yes. Yes.
भूमिरापो नलो वायुः.
भूमिरापो नलो वायुः
खं मनो बुद्धिरेव च.
खं मनो बुद्धिरेव च
अहंकार इति यं मे.
अहंकार इति यं मे
भिन्ना प्रकृतिरष्टधा.
भिन्ना प्रकृतिरष्टधा
अपरेयमितस्त्वन्याम्.
अपरेयमितस्त्वन्याम्
प्रकृतिं विद्धि मे पराम्.
प्रकृतिं विद्धि मे पराम्
जीवभूतां महाबाहो.
जीवभूतां महाबाहो
ययेदं धार्यते जगत्
य एदं धार्यते जगत्
एतद् योनीनि भूतानि
एतद्योनीनि भूतानि
सर्वाणीत्युपधारय
सर्वाणि उपधारय
अहं कृत्स्नस्य जगतः
अहं कृत्स्नस्य जगतः
प्रभवः प्रलयस्तथा
प्रभवः प्रलयस्तथा
मत्तः परतरं नान्यत्
मत्तः परतरं नान्यत्
किञ्चिदस्ति धनञ्जय
किञ्चिदस्ति धनञ्जय
मयि सर्वमिदं प्रोतम्
मयि सर्वमिदं प्रोतम्
सूत्रे मणिगणा इव
सूत्रे मणिगणा इव
रसोऽहमप्सु कौन्तेय
रसोऽहमप्सु कौन्तेय
प्रभास्मि शशिसूर्ययोः
प्रभास्मि शशिसूर्ययोः
प्रणवः सर्ववेदेषु
प्रणवः सर्ववेदेषु
शब्दः खे पौरुषं नृषु
शब्दः के पौरुषं नृषु
Let's chant this one also. So you have the Tattva Bodha text with you, Haraprasad ji.
I do.
Okay. So you have the right spot. It was mentioned.
No, nothing was mentioned what spot. I thought you were going to do Panchikarnam.
Okay. Okay. No problem.
Hmm.
So anybody else who knows where we are starting? You have that section open? Yeah.
350.
So Mahesh and Ani, etc. Yeah, Anirudh.
Guruji, I have the text, but I don't know the page number. I'm sorry. I have the.
Okay.
I do not know the page number. Sorry.
Who has the exact point ready? Mahesh, do you have it? Yeah,
Yes.
Mahesh, go ahead. Yeah. Okay, so Haraprasad ji, we are doing this Srishti Prakaranam in Tattva Bodha. So the Panchikarnam, it starts Atha Chaturvimshati, etc. It starts. Yeah, that's the part. Atha
अथ
Chaturvimshati
चतुर्विंशति
Tattvopatti Prakaram
तत्त्वोत्पत्तिप्रकारम्
Vakshamaha
वक्ष्यामः
Brahmashraya
ब्रह्माश्रय
सत्वरजस्तमो गुणात्मिका
तत्त्वरजस्तमोगुणात्मिका
माया अस्ति.
माया अस्ति.
Okay. So most likely we'll be spending this whole session on that, on this second vakya. Okay. So this seventh chapter started with this Srishti Prakarana. Okay. Yeah. Ramesh, go ahead, unmute yourself. Did you have a question?
Yes. And Jaykumarji,
Yeah.
you're breaking a lot of your dialects. We cannot follow. Is it only from our side, or everybody else has the?
So the seventh chapter started with Bhagavan Sri Krishna mentioning his intention to explain Srishti. So this Shaka, as we've seen, is a Srishti Prakaranam or Tatpada Vicharaha, Srishti Vicharaha, like that. There are many words that are used. Means the analysis of creation. That's the idea. And so here in sloka number 6, he says, Aham Kritsnasya Jagataha Prabhavaha Pralayastatha. The entire world, I am the creator of the entire world, and I am also the resolver of the entire world. Okay, that I knew before also. Before Krishna told me also, I knew. As a child also, I knew this. That God is the creator of this world. God. That's our idea of God. Correct? And that's what we are beginning to analyze here. So, again, we have to recap a little bit. So, here in this Tattva Bodha, this text that we are looking at is called Tattva Bodha, a portion of the text which involves the unfoldment of this creation. Okay, starting from Brahma, like that. And so it's a nice way of, it is a complete model, and many of us have studied it about 3 years ago, and so we are just reviewing that. And so here he says in that first line that we just read, Atha Chaturvimshati Tattvopatti Tattvotpatti Prakaram Vakshyamaha. Vakshyamaha, we are going to say, we are going to reveal to you, we are going to tell you, we means the author is going to tell you, Prakaram, the methodology, the mode of what? Utpatti, Utpatti, creation. Okay, creation, Utpatti, the production of Tattvotpatti, Chaturvimshati Tattvotpatti. Okay, the creation of the tattvas, the various tattvas that are there, 24 tattvas. He says Chaturvimshati, a model that involves 24 tattvas, elements, 24 element model. That is the name of the model he has given. Okay, that we are going to say Vakshyamaha. Okay, and then he says Brahmashraya, etc. He said that. Okay, we'll come to that in a minute. Maybe not a minute, but we'll come to that. Okay, in a minute is a matter of speaking, so sometimes you should not take it literally. So the common idea of creation is what? Is that there must be an intelligent being who knows what is being created. This much is clear. An intelligent being whom we call in our language Nimitta Karana. So I'm going to recap a little bit. The next 20 minutes is going to be a recap. So it won't be new to many of you. Some of you are new. It will be a new words, etc. And you can get used to it. So Nimitta Karana means the intelligent being, the creator. And then Upadana Karanam is also needed. Means material is needed for any creation. So this is the example of a created object, and it's our favorite pot, Ghataha. In Sanskrit it's called Ghataha. And so for creating this Ghataha, this pot, we need two entities, and the one entity is the pot maker, he or she, the pot maker, who even before the creation of the pot knows exactly what that person wants to create, and that person is called the pot maker, or in our language we are going to call him, her, Ghatagnaha. Ghatagnaha. Correct? Ghatagnaha. Ghataha janati. Iti. Ghatam janati iti ghatagnaha. Person is called a ghatagnaha. And in fact, he is also a ghatakarta. So ghatakarta, the one who makes the pot maker is called ghatakarta. And because the ghatakarta knows everything about the object that he or she is about to create, that person is called a ghatagnaha. Ghatakarta, ghatagnaha. Okay, ghatakarta, ghatagnaha. And what about, suppose now, and of course, for creating the pot, that person needs material. And that material we call as upadana karanam, clay in this case, can be any material. And clay in this case, and clay is called upadana karanam. And shakti. So because knowledge is there, but then skill is needed to create. And the skill in our language, we are going to say skill includes material also. And material also, requiring the right material is important. And the process of making the pot, whatever process is needed, the skill, entire skill is needed, the capacity and capacity to create. And therefore we call that capacity as shakti or maya. Shakti for now, let's say. Okay, I'm going to use the word shakti. So knowledge is needed. Jnanam, ghatagnaha, ghatakarta, ghatagnaha. Then shakti for creating this pot is also needed. Ghata shakti is needed also. Okay, so jnanam and shakti are needed. Now, if you ask this pot maker, I've seen you making pots all day long. I want you to make a piece of cloth for me because I need a cloth, and my cloth is getting old. So I please make a cloth for me. And you know what he will say? He will say, you are in the wrong place. Correct? You are in the wrong place. I'm very good at making pots, and I can create big sizes, small sizes, all shapes I've created for you because you built a new house and you want to decorate the house, and so some people spend a lot of time thinking about how their house should look like, at least the inside of the house and even the outside of the house. And I went to a classmate's home. Classmate means we studied in the ashram, and we all met, all the graduates of the 2014-2017 batch of the Ashravidya Gurukulam. We met recently in Coimbatore, and so somebody hosted it, and I was so impressed by that her house, and it was all antique and all pottery and clay and this and all brownish, and it was totally amazing. I mean, I've not seen that kind of a house in a long time. I've been sitting hold in this house, and so I saw that I was very impressed. I told her, "This is you spend a lot of time on this." And outside the house, she had some nice designs and creepers and this and that. Anyway, so this man says, "You want a piece of cloth? There are a lot of places where you can get a piece of cloth, but don't come here. You're in the wrong place." That means what? This ghatagnaha, this ghatakarta is only a ghatakarta, and ghatagnaha, he is not a patagnaha. Pata means cloth. Okay, pata is cloth. So this gata pata, we use this example, and pata means cloth. A piece of cloth is called pata, vastram, pata. So he says you should look for a patagnaha. I am not a patagnaha. I am only a ghatagnaha. And so, like this, we have so many people who know so many different things. And this ghatagnaha is a alpagnaha. Correct? Alpagnaha. He knows, he's very good at what he is doing, but he knows only a little bit. Yes, among all the things that one can know, he knows a little. So he's an alpagnaha. Okay. So that person has alpajnanam. Therefore, he is called an alpajnaha. And Shakti, the power is there to create the pot, but alpa Shakti. Ghata Shakti, Alpa Shakti. Little bit of Shakti that person has. Little bit, one aspect of the creation he has tapped into, and that person is very good at that. Okay. And so we have, the person has to borrow, whoever does these things, they have to borrow the skills. If you look at bigger and bigger things, the person building a house means one person cannot do it. There is an architect, there is an electrician, there is this, there is a mason, this, that. The mason doesn't know the big picture. That person does something, and he can align the bricks properly, and he can do certain things with the physical structure. And but the architect has to borrow the skills of the mason and of the electrician and so on and so forth. Architect seems to have a vision of what the outcome should be. The designer, the project manager, whatever. Okay, so constantly borrowing, using, outsourcing. This is what we do all the time. And so Ghatakarta, Ghatagnaha. Okay, Ghatakarta, Ghatashaktiman. Ghatashaktiman. That person has the skill, including the material, to produce the Ghata. So Ghatagnaha, Ghatashaktiman, Ghatakarta, Patakarta, Patagnaha, Patashaktiman. Correct? That person knows how to create a piece of cloth, where to get the materials, and all the machines that are needed, everything are there. And like this, for every object, you have knowledge of the material and the material itself, knowledge of the object, final object, and all the things that are needed to create that final object. Shakti. And so, for any object, you will have that particular knowledge and material. Alpasya karta, alpa karta, alpajnaha, alpa shaktiman. Alpa, all of us are alpa, alpajnaha and alpa shaktiman, shaktimati. Alpajnanaman, alpajnanavati, alpa shaktiman, alpa shaktimati. Okay, this is our idea. The problem arises when we project this idea onto Bhagavan, onto Ishvara. We don't have any other choice but to project this idea, because we don't have any other model. And then I created the pot, if the person says, then you ask the person, who created those hands? Which created the pot? Who created the mind? That mind that has the ability to think through all these things and create a process. You know, we all are good at creating processes. And so all that, yeah, Anirudh, go ahead.
Guruji, you said Ghata Shaktiman. Really, does the Ghatadnya have the Shakti, or is he not relying on Shakti? I mean, yes, they know how to make it, but I'm thinking that Shakti, as in the power of creating, maybe they have all the skills required for that, but that is it not still outside?
Yeah.
It goes, right? I mean,
so yeah, for all the created objects, it is outside. In the
yes.
sense, the material is outside. All the things needed to create that object is outside the person. That's our idea of creation.
Yes.
The pot, the material for the pot is not coming from the pot maker, it's coming from outside.
Correct.
The pot maker has the skills to identify what material is needed and how to put it all together.
Correct.
That applies to every object. Okay.
So maybe I'm mixing. Sorry, just one. So the I would say the Shakti power to, he doesn't have it, does it? I mean, he's kind of putting it together using the skills and the faculties that they have. But pots are known to fail. They don't all 100% exactly the same thing. There is still an outside element. Is it not?
Yeah. So, whatever we consider creation as creating an object, and it will have with it whatever, because the knowledge of a human being is limited, the product coming from that knowledge has to be limited also. Whatever flaws are there in the creator, the same flaws will manifest itself in the object that is created. That is why Alpajna, because the person is Alpajna. The person is not Sarvajna. If the person was Sarvajna, then the object created will serve the purpose forever. Why not forever? Forever? Because Sarvajna. Okay? But Alpajna. Therefore, product is created and it serves the purpose in whatever way it serves and for whatever, however long it serves, and then needs constant repair. And repairing is also part of that Shakti, part of that Alpa Shakti. Sometimes they will say, I can't repair. No, this is beyond repair. Sometimes the person does not want you to repair also, because repairing is not profitable for the other person. I told you the example of this television. And the big LG people came and then they looked at the TV and did this, that. And then after all that, he says, did you touch the television with water? What kind of question is that? It's on the wall. And when I take a shower, the bathroom door is closed. And there are no children in this house throwing things. And it says, as far as I know, I don't touch the TV with water. I don't even touch the remote with the water. And of course, I don't turn these things on. My father is there. No, I don't think we don't do that. So he puts a microscope on the, see, there is some little water somewhere here. I think your things are spoiled. I think you have to buy a new TV. I said, enough with these people. Okay. And then I call our local technician. And the fellow did everything. I told you this before. I enjoy saying it because this is, we have reduced ourselves to this. We have told ourselves we are all stupid people. We have to throw everything out. And I cannot accept these kinds of statements. And so he came, took the television, and he called me in his office, in his workshop. It is all strewn with all these electronic objects. And then he said, see, look, these are the video, the 4 bands that are there. And then one of those bands is messed up. Therefore, your video is not showing. And we have to replace this one thing. Like that he said. So anyway, so bottom line answer to your question is, yeah, Alpajnaha, whatever Alpajna can do, will do, and then enjoy whatever comes out. Okay. Now, so if you ask then, what about, did you really create the pot? Means, who gave you these hands and legs? Who gave you the ability to think about all these things and come up with this idea? And who gave you the idea to creatively, every generation there's a new telephone, every generation there is something new. How is that all that happening? So that whole creation, whole ability, that Shakti is there. Who created that? If we say, well, yeah, okay, my parents created this body. Okay, but they themselves don't know how the body was created. They were only a nimitta karanam. They were just instruments. They were just instruments, and then the body got created. Mind got created. They didn't put all these things together. Like the company puts all these objects together and creates a particular device, whether it is a chair or a furniture, complex equipment or telephone, etc. So then we have to say this whole world is there. It's very complicated world out there, but there seems to be a lot of order there. The planet seems to be revolving in its own orbits, and they don't seem to just randomly move and then they collide with each other. And it's not like that. It's all very, very orderly, it appears. And life is there only in certain planets, and certain planets there is no life. And life means water, oxygen, carbon dioxide, all this is involved. And human beings are very good at generating carbon dioxide, but they need oxygen to survive, and there are other beings that are producing oxygen. It's absolutely amazing. This symbiosis and interdependence, if you look at it, it's just mind-boggling. Even ants have a role to play in this ecology, in this creation. So you look at all the order, then then the mind asks naturally, is there a creator? Is there a creator for all this? That is how the idea of God comes about. There must be a is there a Sarvajnaha? Is there a Sarvashaktiman? Correct? That is the question that arises. And so we say, yeah, there is a Sarvajnaha because everything that is intelligently put together must have an intelligent being behind that intelligently put together object. Even a tree is there, it's growing and it's producing fruits, and there is chlorophyll, there is green leaves, and it's doing all kinds of work to create all the food is created by plants. And so this there has to be a creator for that. The minute you say this, the scientists will jump and say, oh, that's not enough, and they will jump at it. But we'll come to that later. But creator is there. But then the question we'll ask is, like the pot maker, is that creator of the world, the world creator, Jagatkarta, the Jagatkarta, does he or she, we will figure it out later, is he or she, but let's say he for now, did he go out and get some material to create this world? Because my idea of creation is this only. And there is an intelligent being, that person needs everything, is like you said, God from outside, borrowed, somehow purchased, whatever. Somebody else has to create the material. Even skills, sometimes the person has to learn the skills. The child, the potter's son, learns the skill. The potter's daughter learns the skills just by watching. And then sooner or later, that person becomes a potter. Absolutely amazing. So, did that Jagatkarta go out and get some material? Okay. This question you and I cannot answer because we don't have a separate model. We have to say yes to that question because we don't know of any other creation model, correct? Because material is there outside, intelligent being needs a material from outside. And for this we have to rely on the Shastra, Pramanam. Shastram eva Pramanam. Tasmat Shastram Pramanam te. Karya Vyavasthitau. Krishna is going to mention that later. So we have no means of knowledge, no pramanam except the Shastram. It says, Sadeva Soumya Idamagra Asit Ekameva Dvitiyam. Chandogya Upanishad. Hey Soumya, hey Swetaketo. In the beginning there was only Sat. Sadeva Soumya Idamagra Asit. Sat only was there. Ekameva Advitiyam. That also makes it very clear. Ekam Sat only. And there are not too many sats hanging around. Sat means Satyam. And Advitiyam, there is no second. There is no second thing at all before. There is only one Sat, he says. So only one Sat was there. Means what we are saying is that Sat has to create. In all our models of creation, we always assume certain things. Space is given, time is given, everything is given, materials are given, and then now you're asked to create something, produce something. We can produce a lot of things. Everything is given. But our Shastram doesn't assume anything. And our Shastram doesn't even assume time and space. Time and space also has to be created, have to be created before the world can be created. This is the seminal contribution of Sanatana Dharma to the scientific world. Okay? And so, Tasmadva etasmad atmana akasha sambhutaha. Taittiriya Upanishad. And here Tattva Bodha, next sentence is going to be Tataha akasha sambhutaha. Okay? So, akasha, space. So, that is when space itself was not there. You have to create space first, my dear. And then space includes time in this context. Time and space have to be created. Then only all objects can be created. That's a model here. Brilliant model. because no assumptions are made. And God created the world in 6 days, 7 days, etc. Those things will not apply here at all. Because that model, the Abrahamic model continues to retain the separateness between material and creator, correct? Nimitta Karanam and Upadana Karanam are separate. They don't have a different model at all. Our Shastram says this model breaks up when you talk about Ishvara. Bhinna breaks up. You have to talk about Abhinna Nimitta Upadana. So therefore, classical physics also did the same thing. Time and space are given. Even Newton, time and space are given. Then it took somebody else to come and say, you know what? No, that's a wrong assumption. How do you know time and space are given? They are also concepts, and every concept has to be created. Therefore, they talk about collapse of time and space. Our idea of collapse is laya, pralaya, correct? Our idea only, laya and pralaya. There they talk about collapse. Only recently they've been talking about collapse. So theory of relativity and so on and so forth. This is science there. So then that we say the person nimitta karanam, the one who knows everything, must be sarvajnaha, because sarvasya karta sarvajnaha. Alpa karta alpajnaha alpashaktiman. Sarvasya karta has to be sarvajnaha, one who knows everything. Ishvara must be sarvajnaha, one who knows everything. Okay. Now, that sarvajnaha must be sarvashaktiman also, because Shakti is not outside. Shakti has to be there within Ishvara, and so Ishvara produced the world out from Ishvara. Material also is Ishvara. The intelligent being is also Ishvara. That is how the creation is, Shastram says. And provides a couple of models. We've seen that. Mundakopanishad model is Yatha Urnanabihi. Srijate Grannate. Yatha, just as you've seen the spider, and the spider creates the web, it does not get the material for the web from anywhere else. It is just coming outside the spider. Just brings it out. And somebody sent a video. Did I send that? I don't remember. I think I should ask. Somebody took a picture of this and of the spider outside his house, her house, spinning the spider web, and goes like this. It is doing it so fast. My God, you think that it is all these shapes, hexagonal, octagonal shapes, you think it took a lot of time? No. It's just doing it in seconds. It is just finishing off some 8 rounds. I was just stunned when I saw that video. I thought maybe it is taking some time to do this. No time was taken, and so that urna nabihi, that spider, that web spinning spider, example it gives. Okay, limited example, just to say that the material for the creation is coming from Ishvara. Okay. Another model is the dream model, Swapna, correct? And everybody who, that's why Swami Parvadyananda ji will say, anybody who has not dreamt will not understand Advaita Vedanta. The dream is very important to appreciate. And so we visualize our dream and we ask the question, how did you create this dream? Did you go outside and borrow some material? Did you plan? What kind of planning did you do? You said you had a good dream. Last night I had nice dreams. Okay, how did you plan? Did you plan for it? No, I did not plan for it. Did you knock on the neighbor's door to figure out to get all those gardens and all these rivers and all these nice parties and all that? Where did you get all that material? No, I did not get any material. And who is the material for this dream? You are the material for the dream. You are the creator and you are the material for this dream. Brilliant example to understand the Srishti, Ishvara Srishti. And so that human being, I am endowed with a special Shakti which enables me to create my dream world. That Shakti is there. Okay? Shakti. I'm the creator and I also have the material. And so now here in this dream world, so you are there in the dream you, because I created myself also in my dream, right? And so I am there in this dream and watching all these things and having a lot of fun. And then having all these conversations and having a Vedanta class in the dream also, and then talking about all these objects and teaching children. And there are living beings and then there are non-living beings. The children are looking, really? Yes, you are a living being. And then what about the phone that you have in your hand? Living or non-living? Oh, non-living. Why non-living? Because it cannot breathe, it cannot eat, it cannot, no locomotion, this and that. And so you taught children this whole division about non-living beings and living beings, inert and conscious beings. You taught. Okay, this lecture is going on in your dream. Okay, don't forget that in your dream this lecture is going on. You have become a good teacher, and all children are saying yes. And then you start showing all these objects, and then you point to things and ask the question: living or non-living? Correct answers everybody is saying. What about that wall? Living or non-living? Non-living. Okay, good. So everybody got it. Now you wake up and then you analyze your dream, and then now you ask yourself the question: what is the difference between the non-living mountain and the living tiger? What is the difference? What is the difference in your dream? What happened? Then we have to say, the mountain is also me, consciousness, and the mountain lion is also me, consciousness. And mountain lion, I say, is living, and mountain is non-living. I can say inert and all that, but that is only from a standpoint. But fundamentally, both are identical. Correct? Both are identical, and identical to me, my nature. So that world is not separate from me. This we have to underline. World is not separate from me. Vivartam. Jagat is Vivartam. So this Ishvara is a Vivarta Upadana Karanam. Vivartam. Versus what? Parinami Upadana Karanam. In a material that changes, undergoes change to become something else. Okay? And pretty much any object that you can pick up. Okay, it's like that. Cotton has become cloth. You can't create cotton out of this cloth because it's all processed. It's changed, even though it is cotton, no doubt. And a popular example is milk has become curds, yogurt. Milk cannot be extracted from yogurt. Finished. And you can't say I don't have milk in my refrigerator. Let me use yogurt to produce coffee. Okay, nobody will like that. Better to go without coffee than to have coffee made of yogurt, right? So this much. I'm only repeating what I've said so far. Okay. So therefore, understanding Ishvara is no different than understanding this Jagat as being non-separate from Ishvara. Underline that statement. Let me repeat it. Understanding Ishvara, God, quote unquote, is same as understanding this Jagat as being non-separate from Ishvara. First step at least. Important, very important step. Okay. Looking at the dream, we can see that there is nothing inert in this world, really speaking. That is why in our culture we are always taught. We're always taught if you step on something, you have to seek pardon. See, as children, we learned this. Don't step on this piece of paper. She is Saraswati. That's it. Immediately we will do like this and seek pardon. And stepping on anything is considered not right. Everything is sacred. Everything is sacred for us. This whole idea of secular and sacred is a Western concept. We don't have an idea of secular and sacred. Right? Everything is sacred. Secular can have in the governance sense, they can have a separate meaning. Okay, the government should not get itself involved in religious matters. All that is there. That is secularism. That's fine. And so, therefore, now is a good time for us to appreciate. Therefore, I can wake up and then invoke Ishvara in Surya and Surya Devata and chant Aditya Hridayam Tato Yuddha Parishrantam Samare Chintaya Sthitam. I can say that. So I'm not worshipping some object out there, some inert object that nobody knows what it's all about. No, that is not an inert object. That is Sakshat Ishvara. That Nimitta Karanam, Abhinna Nimitta Upadana Karanam, that is now manifest as sun. I appreciate the power of Ishvara. I appreciate Sarva Shaktiman in the sun. Correct? I appreciate Sarvajnatmam in the sun, a small part of Ishvara. Bhagavan, Devudu, Kadavul. So therefore, we have many devatas. You can invoke devata in any object also, because object itself is devata only. Object is Ishvara. But I have to invoke something, that sanctity. So every puja starts with a prayer. With a prayer, Asmin Bimbe, Shri Mahan Ganapatim Avahayami, like that. And so it is sacred to begin with, but since I am having to relate to that, I make it sacred and then start my puja. Like ribbon cutting, ribbon cutting. They have ribbon cutting ceremony. Why ribbon has to be cut? If you don't cut the ribbon, things don't work or what? No, nothing will work. But it creates a sanctity, it creates a sense of coming together, it creates a formal beginning, auspicious beginning. So that beginning has to be symbolized by something, and they say, we want to cut a ribbon. That's okay, good. We need those kinds of rituals. And for us, it's there every day we do. Saraswati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini. We have to say that and start the study. So, therefore, all forms of worship become validated for us. And so now you understand why Sanatana Dharma has no problem with any other religion. Oh, you are worshipping Christ. Okay, sure, feel free to do that. No problem. They have no problem at all, because the whole world is sacred and you can invoke sanctity in any object. Therefore, I have no problem. Other religions have a problem with us. This is our problem. See, they say we are going to hell. That also I don't have any problem. Okay, we'll go to hell, but then they won't leave us alone. That's where the problem is. This is where today's problems are. But anyway, now I think you understand why we have no problem with anybody. New gods come, no problem. New religions come, no problem. You are happy to worship whoever you want. We have no problem. Hinduism is never threatened by anything else. Sanatana Dharma. So all forms of worship are validated. Why? Because Abhinna Nimitta Upadana Karana. Correct? If it is not Abhinna, if you say the world is created by God sitting in heaven, then immediately, what will you say? Your heaven is old, version 1. My heaven is the latest version. Correct? And God sent me. I am the latest messenger, okay? This problem will come. And therefore, all these religions claim uniqueness and things like that. And so for us, Ishvara means what? He or she, if we ask, hey, if you look at it from the point of view of an intelligent being who has the knowledge of the world, Sarvajnaha, Ishvara is he, just notional, he, call that person he. And then you look at Shaktimatvam, all the power and skill and Upadanam that is needed, that is all she, Maya, Shakti. Correct? Sanskrit also, Shakti is Strilingam, Maya Strilingam. So he and she. It's a fantastic model, because in our world, every child appreciates mother, father and she is always there, and therefore all our devatas are all married. Correct? They always have Shiva as Parvati, Vishnu as Lakshmi, Brahma as Saraswati. That's it. They're always married. Married means what? Don't think they went and tied, this man tied tali around her and all that. Mangal Sutra. Huh? Nahi, aisa nahi. Married means we can relate to them. Hey, this is inseparable. Maya, Ardhanarishwari, Ardhanarishwari. Beautiful Ardhanarishwari. So Shiva is one side and Parvati is on the other side. Both. Two, masculine and feminine are there in Bhagavan, in Ishvara. Abhinna Nimitta Upadana Karana. Correct? So, Puja Swamiji says, as a child, the child grows up, relating to Bhagavan with a lot of reverence and devotion, and that bonding got disturbed somewhere along the way, got vitiated for some people, and now it is time to correct all that and bring our ideas together. Or I may have taken all those notions, all the ideas literally, and I'm continuing to hang on to the idea that God is out there and I'm going to go there after death. That is also a childish concept. Because if you put God in heaven, you are limiting God. You are limiting God. Hey, God is all pervasive, you say here. Then you come here and say in the puja room, you say, God, take me to heaven. Two contradictory statements I'm making, not correct. So as an adult, I am supposed to think through all these things. And Swamiji used to say, hey, God will say it, hey, you're worshipping me, but you're making me limited because of your worship. You put me in heaven. Why did you put me in heaven? Heaven is a place, everything I created, and you are putting me in heaven, and you are removing me from earth also. And what kind of stuff you're doing? I thought I created great human beings, and these human beings have finished me off completely. So, therefore, that child has to mature. And the maturity, of course, puja, prayer, everything is critical in this growth process. And then even the puja, when I do, how do I start the puja? Deho devalaya proktaha jivo deva sanatanaha. This body is like a temple. This is beginning of the puja, okay? Tyajed ajnana nirmalyam soham bhavena pujayet. Correct? I am beginning this worship, this puja, I am beginning this by what attitude? Soham bhavena, saha aham. That Ishvara that I am about to worship is not different from me. With that attitude, I am worshipping. See, our idea of puja also has to change as we grow up. Correct? So critical it is. How much there is to grow? How much? And so we name our children Soham and things like that. Where it comes from? And even Swapna, the dream is there, okay? Dream example. So don't think Swapna is a very critical word. Swapna means what? If my name is Swapna, I am the one who recognizes this world, which most people, everybody takes as absolutely real, is really not absolutely real. It is like Swapna. Correct? So that word Swapna is very important for us. Critical. It's like Swapna. Only difference is in dream, it's my personal dream, and when I wake up, it's gone. And next day also, if I get a dream, there is no continuity between yesterday's dream and tonight's dream. Whereas this dream world is like Ishvara's dream, and everybody, all of us see the same thing, and therefore we agree there is some continuity in this Vyavaharika Satyam. But even its Vyavaharikam also is not eternal, not Nityam. And everything is changing constantly. If I project constancy in something that changes, then I am going to suffer. Correct? This is called samsara. What is samsara? Projecting permanence into something that is not permanent. That is called samsara. So this is the background. Okay. And so Bhagavan Sri Krishna said para and apara prakritihi. What is para prakritihi? Nimitta karanam. Para prakritihi. And then apara will be maya shaktihi. Upadana karanam. And what kind of upadana karanam? Parinami upadana karanam. Maya is parinami, changing. The changing aspect of creation is maya. The skill and power and material is maya. And material always changes. And unchanging Purusha, unchanging Nimitta Karanam, unchanging Satyam is Para Prakritihi. Changing Shakti, Upadana Karanam, Parinami Upadana Karanam is Apara Prakritihi. Then what is the relationship between Apara Prakriti and Para Prakriti? Are they two separate things? No. Ardhanarishwaraha. No. Apara Prakriti depends on Para Prakriti. Therefore, here he says, Brahmashraya Maya Asti Tattva Bodha. Maya Asti. Maya is there. What kind of Maya? A Maya that whose existence depends on this Para Prakriti, Brahman, is there. Maya. And what kind of Maya is she? Sattva Rajas Tamo Gunatmika. Maya is something that automatically has these three attributes, three qualities of Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. That is the nature of Maya. And then he is going to explain how this Srishti has come about from that Brahma. So, that was the background. I see when you look at slides and all that, it's easy to just go from top to bottom and say, see, Brahman is there, Maya is there. You know, Brahman and Maya mixed, and then Ishvara came. And then what is Ishvara? Then, okay, before that, then Ishvara created Sushma elements and all. I can go from top to bottom very easily. But you have to understand that basic. Vivartatvam is critical. Critical. Vivartatvam means what? Brahman is there in and through whatever is being created. Like in dream. Like in the pot, the clay pervades the pot. I pervade the dream. This has to be there in the back of our mind whenever we talk about creation. And when we keep that in mind, then the whole model becomes straightforward. The model becomes the details, but the Vivartatvam I hold on to. Then only I can see Bhagavan, Ishvara, everywhere in the entire creation. Then the whole thing begins to change completely now. Then our prayers will become even more meaningful, even more relevant, even more purposeful. So, we will stop today with that, and we will continue with the remaining steps of this Panchikarnam. Tataha Akashaha Sambhutaha, etc. We will continue from the next class. Om Swasti Prajabhyah Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha Go Brahmanebhyah Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanyaha Prithvi Sasya Shalini Desho Yam Kshobarahitaha Brahmana Santu Nirbhayaha Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritangamaya Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Yeah, I